I'll say early in the playoffs, Tate, we had a discussion about what is the difference between being one of them ones and being him. And I'll be honest with you, I don't remember a goddamn thing from that discussion, but
Yeah, I don't either.
I remember there was a
Yeah.
difference. You can be one of them ones, and then by being one of them ones, I believe you
can be
elevated to him.
Yes.
And as I'm watching Andrew Wiggins, this emergence of Andrew Wiggins, who was, as you said, an all-star starter and has been their second best player, but like just kind of came and was a number one pick and number one recruit, but he just kind of came out of nowhere these last couple of games, didn't he? As I'm watching Andrew Wiggins, and you guys like you and I are having discussions about like how assertive he's been throughout his career, how assertive he's being in these finals. That's always been the knock on Wiggins, is that can he be a him if he's not like trying to impose his will? And then Tate, I've realized that there's another phrase in the him discussion that's being thrown around a lot that I need some clarification on, and we should talk about.
Okay.
It's a phrase, he's got that dog in him. Have you seen this?
Ooh.
You've seen this.
Not only have I seen this, I've heard this a lot growing up. I think this is a Southern thing.
This is making a reemergence. This is like this is entering the discourse again. He's got that dog in him, and I know what it means, but at the same time, I have no damn clue what it means. And that's why I think we fold that into the mix of the him discussion, because I think on second thought, like I thought Andrew Wiggins could not be him because him has to be more assertive. Him has to have the swagger, the confidence, what have you. But I think having confidence just means you have that dog in you. Or you talk me through that, because like is having that dog in you the blue collar confidence, and him is the white collar confidence? Is that what it is? You know what I mean? Because Jordan Poole has the white collar confidence.
The dog in him is definitely blue collar. I feel like when you hear someone's got that dog in him, you're thinking Tony Allen, right? You know, you might even give like Draymond Green. Draymond Green's got that dog in him. You know what I mean? Like that would be one way to describe. So I think that's a blue collar term. Him seems to transcend the collars, right? I think this is a mock term. You know what I mean? This is something that could go anywhere and be used at any point. So I think him supersedes the dog in him, but I think the dog is very similar to one of the ones, right? Like it is like a recipe to be one of them ones, if I do say so myself.
Okay, that makes sense. So Andrew Wiggins,
a lot of times we've been waiting for him to bark, right? And he doesn't
have that dog in him. I still don't think Andrew Wiggins has that dog in him, but the dog.
He might not be a top dog, but he might be a cool cat. You know what I mean? Like he's a real cool cat.
The end of it was the end of the third quarter, right, when Wiggins passed to Jordan Poole and Poole hit the buzzer beater.
That was a very like that shows you what like him is, right? Because
that's
if
the
Andrew
him pecking
Wiggins,
order.
if him was Wiggins, really truly him, he would have pulled up there. And Wiggins is so far from wanting to be him that he almost didn't pass it to Poole, even though he knew Poole would hit the shot. Like you saw Wiggins, he was like, maybe I should just dribble this out so we don't.
But it was nice finally especially when all the discussion became centered around his podcast, which like honestly I talked a lot about it too. I never thought, for the record, Draymond doing the podcast was why he sucked. Which is I don't think it was a distraction.
What we were talking about. Yeah,
that was not my point of view. My point of view is like, I know the podcast has nothing to do with whether you're playing well or not. My problem is you're sucking and then doing the podcast. And frankly, like, I'm not trying to hear anything from you. Just go play better, dude. Like, I don't need to hear you. I don't need to hear you take accountability. Even if all of his podcasts are like, that was my fault, I sucked ass. Like, I don't.
I got to be better. Yeah, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
Just go be better. Just like just go. Just shut up and go be better. You know. And
I think his mom really saved him with that tweet. You know what I mean? I think she took all the heat from him by being like, I don't know what's wrong with him, and I think that kind of ended it all. It was great.
And for a guy who his whole reputation is like, I do the things that don't show up in the box score, but also I do triple doubles as well. So let's acknowledge those box scores of mine, but also
please pull up those box scores.
Please pull up those box
Throw
scores.
out the box scores, but then also go get the ones that have me with triple doubles. Yes.
But I was calling him out because for most of these finals, he hasn't been doing the things that don't show up in the box score. And unless you those things are like talking shit and instigating and getting texts, and which
he did some of that last night.
He did some of that last night. He's following Jayson Tatum to the Celtics bench, trying to take the ball from Tate. Like those sorts of things. I didn't like that move.
I mean, Draymond, obviously, I didn't like that move from Draymond, but I didn't like that move from Tatum either. I mean, if I'm Tatum, I'm just like, I don't even. I guess he was trying to bait him a little bit, but I at that point, you're just like, dude, you're playing into this whole. You're playing Draymond's game right now by being in this moment. Please go score. Please go be Kobe. You know what I mean?
Also, though, don't understand how. I mean, Draymond. I will give. I love making fun of Celtics fans and trolling Celtics fans because, frankly, they deserve it. And we could troll Celtics fans for the rest of time, and it still won't be enough tape. But I will be on their side in one thing, which is that Draymond gets away with murder. Absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. There's not literally every other player in the NBA does what he did to Jayson Tatum, where the Tatum has the ball, the Celtics call timeout, he's simply walking to his bench, and Draymond's just hounding him to the bench. That is a tech. Any other player, LeBron does that. That's a tech on LeBron. Yeah, like it's not even like a superstar call. It's like somehow Draymond has like infiltrated the brains of the refs, where they will call a tech on. We've talked about it on the show a million times that the first tech is always scripted, but they'll call a tech on him early in games, and so in Draymond's mind, it's like the refs have it out for him. When that's so very obviously not the case at all. Yeah. And in fact, it's the opposite. They're like kind of scared of him. They're scared to toss him from a game. It's weird. That whole deal is weird, and I do feel for Celtics fans in that regard. The rest of it, like the foul calls and when your team is flopping like crazy, you have to just take it. Like when Jordan Poole flops on Marcus Smart, when Draymond Green is flopping on Grant Williams,
exactly.
You can't argue about it. That's who you are. Like that's you are. That's
if anything, you should be tipping your cap. You know what I mean? Yes. You're like, oh wow, like we're so good at this that these guys are taking from us, right? They're trying to play like us. And Draymond fouled out of 3 games so far in the finals. We can't understate that. He's fouled out of 3 games. It's the first time a player's done that since 2000. You know what I mean? So like he's still, like you said, it's like this doesn't wipe the game 5 doesn't wipe away everything else. And the fouls and the antics are obviously more of the Draymond story, but if he goes to Boston and he plays the same way that he played in Game 3, Game 4, whatever, he's probably going to foul out before halftime.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a totally different game. He's not going to be able to do all this stuff. But you're right. The leash is unbelievable. And it's almost like he's like a contemporary with the referees while these other guys, like, can't speak to them, you know? He's like having a meeting. He's like, let's go have a council meeting over here and talk about this. Yeah. And then everyone else is like, these guys don't listen to a word I say. And then if I say anything like that's bullshit, they tee me up.
He's doing the casual Tom Izzo, throw my arm around your shoulder. Yeah, let's chat. Yeah. Come here, man. Let's talk about this.
It is true. It is a very Izzo move, so I do have to respect that. He learned something from Coach Izzo. That's cool.
No, Draymond does not. At this point in his career, Draymond doesn't. We don't need him to be as great as he has been in finals past. And you know, there was a stretch there in 2017, 2018, Tate, where it felt like. Every NBA draft was when you and I were doing shows, we were jokingly talking about who's going to be the Draymond of this draft.
Yeah,
and we were doing it. It was such a joke because it was like if there were so many Draymonds to be had in all of these drafts, the Draymond wouldn't be Dray. But like, what makes him so good is
it's
that
funny
he is unique.
Grant Williams was one of those Draymonds that we.
Yeah, I think he was.
Like, Grant Williams is a great Draymond.
I think we probably did when Grant Williams came out. We were like, yeah, that guy could be Draymond. But you don't need Draymond to get triple doubles. You don't need him to be a lockdown defender and all that stuff. Like at this point, all I ask from Draymond for me to not kill him in finals post game podcasts when you and I get together and talk about the game we just watched is just simply play hard and don't make your entire approach to the game be all the extracurricular bullshit rather than like trying to actually play hard and play defense and like look at the rim every so often. I do think that like he can't hit. He's still like an offensive liability. He can't hit shit. I do think he has to continue to shoot though. Yeah, like not every single time.
He took a 3 early in the corner last night. That was big. And then he had the classic Draymond where he's like faked the handoff and then he went for the dunk. And I'm like, as long as you do those two things,
those in. Yeah.
your
you
money.
gotta pepper those in. You gotta crash the glass. You don't even have to grab the rebounds. You just have to like if you want to be an instigator and do shit like that and like get under people's skin and all that sort of stuff and do the stuff that doesn't show up in a box score.
Box out.
Great example is just boxing out. It's just throwing, and that's how you pick up cheap fouls
than Rob
too, dude.
Williams like having to deal with you boxing him out straight up. He doesn't want to deal with that. Like that's a headache.
I think that's how Draymond gets attacked in Game 6. If I'm Draymond, I throw my ass into a guy boxing out, get a foul called, and yell at the refs that I was simply boxing out. I get a tech.
And then
get
Steve Kerr to review it. They review it. They're like, honestly, he is just boxing out. You know what I mean? They overturn the call. Draymond goes crazy.
But that's what I want out of Draymond at this point is like stuff like that, and he wins me over. It's the all the other ancillary extracurricular bullshit. When on top of that, he's not even playing that hard. He's not even playing that good a defense. That's what drives me crazy. Game 5, he was a little bit better. He was certainly anything for me.
Hey there, thanks for watching Titus and Tate. For the full friend of the program experience, subscribe right below and come join us for all things college basketball. The action is heating up. Come join Titus and Tate.